Hello, hello. Welcome to the fourth video. This is the first one I'm doing in actual daylight. It's 3:13 right now, so people are awake. So it's kind of weird. This one is the much anticipated relationship video. I will also say, last video I forgot to use my mic, so the audio is probably pretty weird. Not that I'm saying I have great audio or video yet. Anyways, is that better? I don't know. Still gotta set up my other computer, but I want to knock this one out, and that's on my to-do list later today. Just got back from Vegas yesterday night around like eight or so. Fun trip. Yeah, saw a lot of new things, did a lot of new stuff, ate a lot of new food, which this steak was great, but everything else was a little, it wasn't as great. Watched the McGregor fight at like a viewing party. That was fun. Not my thing necessarily, but it was still fun to do. And then we saw Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan, which was okay. They weren't super funny, to be honest. Joe Rogan seemed very nervous more than anything, which was kind of awkward to watch. Yeah, it was cool. So getting on to today's topic of relationships. So I guess I should start by saying relationships are always something that intrigue me. I guess a simple way to put it. Intriguing me meaning I feel like relationships with friends are like one step, but when you get into a relationship romantically with someone, there's so many new elements to it. And I don't know, that's always just interesting to me. I think there's so many aspects to it. There's different types of romantic relationships: casual, dating, flings, marriage, divorce. Um, list goes on. Even what type of partner you have and whatnot. I'm straight, and I don't plan on changing that anytime soon. Yeah, and I think one thing I want to do in this show that I've maybe been holding back on a little is I want to make it, like I kind of said, journal entries where I want to be completely open with stuff. Yeah, so one thing I was thinking about with that is so I was out in Vegas this past weekend, and last time I was out there, I was with Michaela. I was there for a film shoot, and we had hotel rooms paid for and food, and almost everything else was paid for. So we figured out, like, plane tickets are like pretty cheap. Let's get a plane ticket. My friend Atkin flew out like his girlfriend. We flew out one of our friends to help us on the shoot. And then I was like, oh, like Michaela can come out. And it was great. Like, it was a kind of fun, unexpected trip that we took together. And now this time, everything I did, I just missed her during it. And that's one thing I'm going through right now, is just figuring out, like, I know why I miss her, but should I miss her? Should I like just keep trying to move on? I want her to be happy. And so what does that take from me? I don't know. There's a lot of things like it. There's like something like, oh, I know I can do better, which I've said before, and I really wish I could. And I wish I could be like, I can do better. I'm just a mess, but I can do better. But I don't know. I think I've said that before, and I just couldn't do it. It wasn't that I wasn't trying. It wasn't anything like that. But yeah, I spent my minute on that. But yeah, that was just one thing that gets to me right now, is not knowing what I should do. So I'm kind of taking some steps to figure out what I should do. Um, I think so. I have a book by Aziz Ansari, which I believe Justin got for me like a year after we met for I'm guessing, but maybe my birthday. And I've read it, not all the way through, but it came out 2014, and that's probably right around when I got the book. And I've never finished it. And the farthest I've gotten is like 130 pages into it. So yesterday on my way back from Vegas, I wasn't driving, so I was like, I'm just gonna read. I got like 70 pages in, which is pretty good for me. I just read like another 20 pages today, but it talks about different aspects of relationships. As of right now in the book, it's kind of how they've evolved, how people take steps into relationships. And so that's one thing. Another thing that I'm doing to kind of figure out what I should do, along with reading, I guess another form of reading, is that there's another book my old teacher, Mr. Malumbi, recommended by C.S. Lewis called Mere Christianity. I don't know how much this is going to touch on relationships at all, but I think it's a book that could help me figure out me and what that means. Yeah. And there's some other stuff in the works that I'm trying to do to figure out what relationships mean to other people, and hopefully that gives me some insight to what they mean to me. Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about that stuff a lot just because it's something that's always on my mind. I think relationships are something that's always on people's minds. So I guess right now, let's just go into my history of relationships. You know, some of these things I don't really consider relationships, but I think they're things that formed me on my perspective of real relationships. Everyone has crushes when they're young, or I think. You know, in elementary school, you get crushes and stuff. I was talking to David and Alicia about this yesterday on our way back. It's like, I think my first crush was Ali Rosenblum in like 6th grade. I remember every morning my mom would park next to her mom. We would arrive at like the same time, and our cars would be next to each other before school because we would help like set up cones and stuff for the lines for drop off. And I was like, she was always like the cute. She was my first 6th, 7th grade girlfriend. First kiss. Yeah, I haven't talked to her in a long time. But yeah, so that was my first like crush girlfriend. And then my next one was Nicole. So Nicole Dunn, I've described little bits of the stories. I'll just have to probably do a separate one all about her, but that was in sophomore year, and she was like a new girl in the school system. And we dated maybe like 3 months. But like, she became such a liar, like on stupid stuff, like things I knew were lies. One of the main ones was like the Avatar movie came out, The Blue People. And my film teacher at the time had seen it. And he told us the whole class period was like spent him telling us what it was about and how amazing it was. And she had told me like she had seen it. So to kind of like test this theory, because I believed my teacher more than her, to test this theory, I was like, hey, Nicole, what was Avatar like? Like, what was it about? What was the main thing? I forget what she said, but it was like completely not at all what my film teacher had said. So I was like, okay, like, you sure you saw it? She's like, oh yeah, I saw it. It was great. It's amazing. It's like, okay. And just like little things like that. We broke up, and she kept like telling people that like it caused her to have like different depressions and stuff, and like I made her like cut herself, and luckily I was, you know, my friends knew me, and they were like, there's no way in heck like he's done anything like this to you. And I can truthfully say I didn't. Yeah, she was the first one. That would be from like my first girlfriend, high school, but it was so short, 3 months. yeah, first one I had more serious other than like kissing with. Then I always forget the year, but there's one. My next relationship was Catherine, and met her 4th of July. I forget what summer, maybe between junior and senior year, and we were both working at Santee Salutes, the like local community firework event, 4th of July event. And we were paired up in the same booth, like game booth for the kids. And so we spent hours together just talking and whatever. And then I got her number, and I think she had a boyfriend at the time. Uh, I think Elijah, but it doesn't matter. And I actually thought my friend David would be interested in her, so we all hung out. And nothing came of anything there. But then after a while, her and I started dating. The classic truth or dare, I dare you to kiss me. She lived pretty close, and we dated 1.5, 2 years. It was just young high school relationship. I think I was a year older than her, so it was like I think last year of high school, first year of college ish, and yeah, it was okay relation. Like I consider her my one past girlfriend that I can still talk to. Nothing weird. Um, yeah, she was cool. She was very smart, very ambitious, which was good. Um, yeah, she got along with my family and everything. Especially people. She would come to like Christmases and Easter's and whatnot, and I would go to like their family celebrations. And then so that was high school, and then it went to Sarah. So I kind of think I was talking about this a little last time. So Sarah was the one I kind of moved to Denver for, and this was a girl that in high school, I think junior or senior year, I had a dream. I'm all about dreams, so I had a dream. In this dream, I met this girl. And I got her number, and then like I woke up from the dream and I checked my phone. I was like, oh, like her number's not in here. It's like, what happened? And I checked the computer. I typed in the name that she gave me in the dream, and there was the girl, like on Facebook. And so I found this girl. This sounds very stalkery, but like this girl in my dream was a real person who I'd never met, who was a year younger than me, going to the high school right next to mine, like less than a mile away from my school. I was like, this is crazy. I didn't do anything about it. I told some friends and family. I was like, this crazy dream, it seems so realistic. And that was kind of the end of it. And then fast forward a couple of years, I'm in college. All this stuff happened to me. And I had to retake part of this biology class, which I was fine with. It wasn't that I failed, but I'll get back to that story. Pretty much, I met this girl in this biology class only because I had to retake it. Or retake this, not retake, I had to finish the second half of it. And, I was so trying to figure out who she was, and I figured out it was the girl from my dream all these years ago. And I told my friends and family, I was like, oh my gosh, like, girl from my dreams is real, and she's in my class, and blah, blah, blah. And I was so nervous to talk to her. And it took me probably a month or two to just talk to her. I remember the first thing I said to her was like, bless you, because we were on a field trip in Mission Parks, and she sneezed. She kept sneezing, kept saying bless you, and then on her third one, I was like, sorry, you only get like three bless yous. I can only give you that many a day. But like we chit-chatted, and yeah. And then we had another field trip in the mountains with this biology class. And at the end of it, I think she was driving me down. But at the end of it, we were talking throughout the whole like field trip. It was like a hike up a mountain. And on the way down, everyone got out of the car, and I was like, hey, like, would you want to go out sometime? she was like, "Oh yeah," I think, or she gave me her number, or something like that. She gave me her number, and I asked her out. And first date was at Chick-fil-A, and it went good. Like, it went good. I was fairly upfront with like the dream thing, which could come off very creepy. But she was, I was like, I don't mean to be a creeper, but she was cool with it. It seemed like, and yeah, I was so excited. I remember there was a song, one of the super poppy, overplayed radio songs about being like happy. I don't know if this is Happy by I can't think of his name, but Happy or Smile or something. I just remember like getting home, no one was home. I was just playing. I was like, oh, I'm so yeah, and I was so happy. And then she was gonna move. She had already planned to move out to Denver in August or whatever it was, and at this point it was May. So I was like, okay. I was like, well, let's see how it works. And like almost immediately, I started looking up schools out in Denver that I could go to that would be like film related, and that brought me to my film school. So I was able to convince myself and my parents to get me into this film school, and that I can move out there. And man, like this was a girl. The first time I was like, I want to marry this girl, and I was so cute. I had cute dates, and there's a time I would send like cute messages, and I put so much effort into this relationship, more than I had done before, and just tried all these things, and I tried making everything work. And after a while, I was a different person too. So I do not blame her 100% for all this, but there were things that were changing with her. What she wanted, and she didn't love me anymore, and this and that. And there were definitely things at that point I was very against, like drinking. She was underage. I had just turned like 21 or 22, and she wanted to drink. She wanted to do drugs, and she wanted to move in with a couple guys that I had met like a couple of times, but definitely wasn't like, oh yeah, they're cool, like I know them. But overall, it's just she didn't like me anymore. So that relationship ended, and I was heartbroken. I was like devastated, and yeah, and that was my first like big relationship, I would say. My computer sounds like it's gonna blow up, so hopefully the mic isn't picking that up. Oh, is this on? Yeah, it's on. Cool. But yeah, that one left me devastated for a while, and I was determined to still go out to like Colorado and do my film school. I'm gonna move this a little. Still go out to Colorado and finish my film school stuff, and I'm happy I did. That's when a while later I met Lauren, who I met through the film school. I talked about her a decent amount last video. Super fun girl that, was just comical, and yeah, there were little things in our relationship that definitely like threw things off for me. I always tell girls that, if anything ever happens and like you get pregnant, I'll be there. Like, I'm not gonna be the person just like, oh, see ya, like good luck. And there's one drunk night where she was like, I want you to get me pregnant, and that one definitely left a mark on my brain. Like, oop, I don't know about that. And then when I brought it up to her, she had no clue she had said that, and it wasn't something like I hung over her head by any means, but it was something that was definitely affecting me and how I viewed the relationship. That relationship was, how long was that? Maybe a year, maybe like a year long. But also in the relationship, she was still going through film school, and I was heading back home to San Diego. And so it was also a factor of like, we're gonna be, 1,300 miles away from each other. And when I had done that with Sarah, it was a lot of work. Like, long distance was still a lot of work, and with other doubts kind of in my mind, to me, to be honest, like, it was just like, I don't think it's gonna work. And I ended it. Yeah, which is, I said last time, like, it was just too bad. I wish I could reconnect with some of these people, but which is normal in relationships, I guess, is that people hold like things against the other person, or they want nothing to do with them. So yeah, I had tried reaching out a while ago and being like, hey, like, just want to apologize. I don't know how you've been. I don't know how you view me. Hopefully we can move past it and, be, uh, I don't know, be civil, I guess, be civil with each other. And because it's a person that I thought was so much fun to be around. And, yeah, she didn't feel the same. And that was just a little while ago. So, so that's, whatever. It's kind of peace in my mind where it's like, okay, like, if I wasn't looking for anything other than potential conversations from potential conversations every now and then. Yeah. Then after that, skipping over a couple just for it's not worth bringing them up. And they weren't, we're talking month or less type thing with some of these that I'm not bringing up. From there was other Lauren in San Diego. We matched on Bumble, and we had an amazing first date. Those, it was at the time definitely my favorite first date, where we went to a movie and then we had Panera. She said it was the best mac and cheese in the world. It is not. I will tell you that, and I stick to that to this day. And it's okay. Panera mac and cheese is on par with decent mac and cheese. And then we went and we just talked for like hours up on this mountain by the theater. It was great. It was great. Yeah. And then a while down the road, I felt like everything was going good. Like, I had gone up to, she was living in like Glendale at the time. So I'd gone up there a couple of times. She had come down here, met my family, and I don't know, it was 6-ish months into the relationship. I wanted to do something cute, and I wanted to build like scrapbooky type thing of a relationship. So I wanted to get the first like messages we sent each other on Bumble. So I go onto Bumble, which had been deleted, and like I re-uploaded it, went onto my account, looked at our messages, and I noticed like she has new pictures on her Bumble, pictures I had taken. So while I was like committed to this relationship, she's still dating people. And I was just like heartbroken. I was like, oh my gosh. And like I messaged her, I was like, hey, like, have you been dating other people? And she was like, yeah, like, I didn't know how exclusive we were. Like, I went on a couple other dates and stuff. I was like, I don't know, like, when. I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, there were definitely things that were like, oh, we're exclusive. Like, we were saying, like, I love you, like, going on dates. Like, she met my family. She did not want me to meet her family, which she had gotten out of a long relationship. And I kind of understood that. I wasn't, like, thrilled about it by any means, but I was like, you know what, like, okay. But even by, like, 6 months, I was like, okay, like, we're pretty serious now. Like, is there something we can do? Like, I met her sister. And I met one of her friends. I think later on I met one of her friends. Later, I actually met her brother on a film shoot because he was getting into acting or something, and I was working on one, and he was like a background character or like an extra. So I met him. I didn't tell him the relationship or how I knew his sister, but um, yeah. So I was heartbroken with that one. And then this one's getting long, but this is going to be a longer one. So, and then we broke up, and then fairly shortly after I met Masha, one of the sweetest girls, and she was one of the girls that people, when you go on dating apps, you're like, I'm not sure what I'm looking for. Don't necessarily want a serious relationship. But I was like, man, like she's so nice. Like she's pretty. Like she's, I don't know. And I was living up in LA at the time. She came up to LA, and we hung out, and it was getting really late, and I had no intention of like spending the night. But it was so late, and she was like, I'm so tired. Like she was falling asleep. I was like, dude, I'll sleep on the couch, just like stay. And we didn't sleep together, but we had a great night. And yeah, like definitely was. One thing I remember is like her hug was like a great hug. Sorry, I'm getting messages. And I just the first time we hugged, because the first time we met, we said, okay, like nothing physical, like we can hug. Like even that was like, we want this to be purely like a emotional, like not about physical. And yeah, I like that. And but we hugged, and yeah, I don't know. Just like one memory that sticks in my head. Um, and then we dated, but then like Lauren kind of came back into my life and was like showing me more and more attention. Like I said, family's home, so I don't know what's going on. But was showing me like more and more attention, and Lauren was someone that like I did see a future together, and I saw all this stuff together. But then things happened, and yeah, and so she's going back in, and like, but I'm with Masha, and never cheated. I can say that. Definitely did things I shouldn't have, but it wasn't. I didn't cheat. Um, and I was very conflicted because Lauren was here, like, like I want to work this out somewhat, and I was telling Masha like, hey, like, what do you think of like me seeing Lauren and this like seeing like hanging out? And she didn't really care, or from what I was interpreting her answers from, like she didn't care. She was like, yeah, that's fine. And then I had my birthday, and Masha and Lauren came, as well as like David, Alicia, Justin, Caitlin, Bob. So I had a handful of people, and we started at my house, and we were playing games and stuff, and then we went out to some bars, and we're drinking and this and that, and everyone got to meet both Masha and Lauren and have their opinions of them after. So after I asked all my friends, I was like, what do you think? Like, I think pretty much everyone knew my predicament and what I was going through. And so I was looking to them. I was like, what do you think? Like, who do you like? Like, what should I do? It was very split. Some people were like, oh, I love Lauren. Some people were like, oh, I love Masha. And I ended up breaking up with Masha. And I said, like, but there were other things in that relationship too that were kind of red flags. Very sweet, but at the time she came off as like naive to different things in the relationship. She kept going. So I met Masha on Tinder, and she kept going on like dates with these guys she had promised to go on dates with, but only as like friends. I said, these guys aren't going to understand that. I said, if you tell them you're in a relationship, these guys are going to be like, well, what are you doing with me? And she went and hung out with like 3 or 4 guys and told them, and they're like, why the heck are you here? So exactly what I kind of predicted. And so she was like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. And then she went to France or something. She went to like the UK or Europe, and she was hanging out with these like 3 or 4 guys she had been friends with. I guess I didn't know them by any means. She was like, oh yeah, I'll be hanging out with them like all the time and like staying with them and stuff. It was like, okay, like not a great feeling for me. So there were definitely other things in the relationship that were red flags. I don't know if this is going to work out in the end. So then kind of went back to, broke up with her, kind of started talking and doing stuff with Lauren, like dates and stuff with Lauren. And then there's a night where like we got drunk and whatever, and then the next morning she's all like lovey-dovey. And then on our way home from the desert, she's like, it's not gonna work out. I was like, what the hell? Like literally like an hour ago, you're like, oh, like I'm so happy, like holding my hands and stuff. And like that destroyed me. It was like, girl, like you cheated on me, in a way cheated on me. I don't know what you would call it, whatever. She was dating other people. And then we broke up, and then I find a new girlfriend. She enters back into the picture, shows that she kind of wants something, like a give her it, and then she's like, no, never mind. So I was like, yeah. So again, I was like, oh my gosh. And then man, my light is fading on here. But then short was, so that was like October. And then in November, this was a point where I didn't know what I was looking for. And I didn't know if I was ready for something serious. I didn't know if I was just like out to meet people. I love meeting people. So a lot of the times, honestly, when I just like meeting new people, meeting new friends, hearing people's stories. Give me 1 second. My light's like going out. Hopefully that helps. Don't think it is, but whatever. Hopefully better video by next time because of my camera. I have a little like ring light on my on my computer, which I think dies fairly fast. But then I met Michaela on Bumble, and one thing I can say, I never know what to expect on dates. I think I always kind of have like low standards. And we were meeting at Tajima to have some ramen. And I remember I got there a little before her and I was waiting, and I see this girl park. I was like, there's no way that's her. I was like, that girl is like 10 times more attractive than I thought she was going to be. And she gets out, I'm like, oh my gosh, it is her. And so I'm pretty nervous, and we like go in and we have some ramen and stuff. Ramen is a great date, but first date, while you're like, I'm a pretty clean eater, but like while you're slurping it, like juices fly everywhere. And so I'm like trying to like, and like great time, very open, and like we had fun talks. I remember she had like a bucket list. She told me, I was like, oh, I can help you on that one, and I can help you on that one, and I can help you on that one. And then from there, we went to, I remember the things we did. I don't remember the order. I think from there we went to, I want to say Coin Op. Or no, maybe the movie. No, maybe Coin Op. I think we went to Coin Op. And we played some games. Am I remembering this right? Oh, I feel so bad now. Because I remember different conversations we had at every place. But I think we went to Coin Op. played some games. Then we went to the movie and watched the second Fantastic Beasts. And before the movie, it was like super delayed or something, we got there super early. And we just talked in like on this little bench down in the theaters. And we talked about like ghosts and dreams and like all these things. And on first dates, I'm pretty open. So I was pretty open with her on a lot of stuff, which she has later told me that like scared her. Because I was like, oh yeah, like marriage, kids, like whatever. And we're talking like, this is 3 hours into first date. And then we watched the movie, and then I think that's when we went to Balboa. Did we go one up that night? Oh. I don't know. Whatever. Then we went to Balboa, and late at night, we were walking around, and walking around, and we were in one of the little hallways, and we kissed. I was like, man, I don't know if I was. At the time, I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for a kiss. To myself, I was saying like, I don't know if I'm ready for a kiss tonight. But we kissed, and I was like, that's great. And I felt very happy. And then I don't know, our relationship was 2.5 years, just about, 2.5 years. And we had disagreements on different things that at the time at particular times always felt big. Religion was the big one, then political view was the other one. I don't care too much about politics. Like, I have my thoughts on it. Overall, like, one of the best relationships because we never argued. We never really argued. We definitely had disagreements with different things. But everything was so, like, go with the flow, so chill. Just hang out, go on dates, do whatever. I have 1,000 different memories of it, different dates and different times we hung out with each other and, like, why we're good and that stuff. I'll get into this later, but, like, that stuff is that just always easy to remember once you're out of a relationship, like the good times. So I'll get into that later. But, there came times where I was like, I don't know if I see marriage. I still don't know what I think of marriage right now. It's always been an aspect where I was a hopeless romantic. I was like, I'm going to get married. I'm going to have kids. I'm going to have a perfect life type thing. And now I'm always like, I don't know. Like, I see friends and family and stuff get married and have kids. And I'm like, what is your love? Like, what does that mean? When did you know? Like, oh, this is the person I'm marrying. Was it an over-encompassing, like, yes, like, I'm getting married? Or was it like, dude, like, this is the one? Like, and so that's what's scary for me is, like, I don't know what that feeling is. Have I had that? Is it something I've been way off of and I've never been even close? And I think that's something that scared me a lot in a relationship with Michaela. I was just never, like, it was a good relationship. Like, don't get me wrong, it's great. But there's so many times where I was like, is this it? Like, not like, is this it? Like, is this it? Or is there something better? Or is this the top? And 2.5 years was my longest relationship. And I didn't know. I still don't know, like, what marriage love is, which is going to be one of my other vlogs. And that, like, confuses me and kind of scares me because it's going to terrify me if, like, that was it. And now I'm here and I'm like, well, that was it and I don't have it because I didn't know. I don't know. I was saying in my last one, like, I definitely do things to screw up relationships, and I think having Michaela be my most recent relationship. Yeah, there's definitely things I think with her, there were things I knew I should have done. We always talked about love languages, and I'm a person who gives, and she was a person who wanted more, so like words of affirmation. And I don't know why. I used to be like okay at it, but I'm horrible at it, and I'm so bad at doing that. And so I don't think I was able to truly show her the love she wanted, and that's on me. Like, or I feel like that's on me. Along with other things that, looking back, there's always something where you're like, I should have done that better. I know I should have. I just don't know why I didn't, or that's at least what it's like for me. And that's one thing I'm kind of like dealing with now, is trying to find out like what am I trying to seek? Am I trying to seek something I had, or is it something totally different? And so we're going to go into that definitely more in the next videos. But yeah, these are relationships I'll probably refer to in upcoming videos and stuff. But just a general 42 minute general synopsis of kind of where I've been in these relationships, and a quick just story of them and how they started, how they ended. Yeah, so stay tuned. Maybe later tonight I'll try and do a video on the whole Nicole to Sarah like episode, just a short, hopefully short video. But yeah, thanks for watching, and if it's me, I'll catch you later.